This is better.
All right, so this is cool. We're live. Now this is cool. We all did it before we went live this time. I don't know why it wasn't. Okay, so Lee's in the studio. All right, so I'm going to invite, copy. Here comes Lee.
And Beth, you might want to turn up your volume. You're kind of low. I don't know.
Was she talking? I don't think she was talking. Was she?
I heard talking. It was really low.
It was low.
Uh-oh.
Who's talking?
Huh?
All right, so Lee, see if just click on that link. Hey, Jocelyn.
Hey, Joss. Oh, this is the live comments this way.
Yeah.
You can see them.
I can see the comments on this. This is the first time I'm using this Chromebook, so.
Oh, cool. Well, it's a better picture. I can hear you guys better.
Oh,
good.
yeah, because I get
his old computer wasn't working, but Taylor was using my Chromebook.
I can't hear anybody.
You can't hear us, Beth?
I can hear you. I can't hear. Here we go again. I can't hear Sabrina and Anthony at all.
Hold on. Let's see if this switch changes everything. Lee.
Yo.
Hey, can you hear us all?
I'm on here. Can you see me?
I can see you. I can hear you. Can you hear Sabrina and Tony?
Yeah. We can hear you.
Good.
Okay. Beth, can you hear Lee?
I can hear Lee and you. I can't hear Sabrina and Anthony. No.
That's
I have no. It's probably because I'm on the phone. Because what kind of laptop do you have, Lee?
I think it's a ThinkPad.
Oh, okay.
Wait a second. There's something happening. Ready? I'm going to see if we really can add 2 of Lee's on here. Can you believe that?
Lee's. Oh,
Yeah, look.
Wow.
Why do we have? Why do we have that?
All right, hold on. Let me get rid of one. I was like, what is happening?
Let me try to turn off one of these lights.
Why does it keeps wanting to put 2 of Lee on here?
No, I can't have a doppelganger.
Yep.
So what's going on? How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you all?
Good.
We're doing good. You came on. Lee came on. He was on like one of our first or second shows.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah, 2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Time flies.
Yeah.
Right? Hold on, I'm turning the volume down. You're gonna hear us for a second. So anyway, so how's everything going? Good, right?
Things are going good with all the circumstances that we're dealing with here with COVID-19.
Yeah, how are you guys handling all that? Like cases and stuff like that?
Yeah, everything's going great here. Tomorrow the restaurants open back up. The bars open up Friday. So things are slowly getting there.
Good.
Knock on wood, I've worked the whole time.
Yes, me too. Really quick, for people who are watching and don't know, tell them where you're from.
My name is Lee Allen. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I run a paranormal team called ParaVizionz Paranormal Society.
Yes, and they're awesome. And they were actually the first, at the time, it was before I was a part of a group. I was just like a paranormal enthusiast. And they were my first, like, quote unquote, professional, paranormal group that I did at Phenomenology. I forget which one that was.
Oh, God, I don't remember.
But that was the first time I ever did that with a group. I was there by myself. I went to Phenomenology all by myself and just kind of hung out. And I clicked with them. I thought they were awesome.
Yeah, I think we didn't we investigate with Ben Hansen that night?
Yes, we did. It was us and then Ben Hansen. And it was sadly at Lee's headquarters that is now knocked down, which breaks my heart.
Yeah, I was looking forward to going back there in June, the Taps family reunion, and we got postponed until the 2021. So
Oh,
I'm gonna have to make a trip there anyways.
yeah.
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 We're the next
Always a
time.
good time, no matter what.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Sam?
I said Gettysburg is always a good time, no matter what.
I
If
can't
Pat's
hear
you.
happy there or whoever, just go.
It's amazing. I'm looking forward to the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash because so far it's happening. So that's great. So Lee, you recently were on an episode of Ghost Nation.
Yeah, actually, it's on right now as we're
Is
talking.
it?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
People's been sending me photos saying, "Hey, look who I'm seeing."
That's cool. So unfortunately, I don't have the Travel Channel, and it sucks because I haven't been able to see any of them.
Well, you can go to YouTube, watch them.
Yeah.
Oh, they play the full episodes?
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yep. They'll play up to the week, and they won't show that week. You'll have to wait a week, and then you'll see that one.
Awesome. So, all right. So we always talk about shows
Uh-huh.
on paranormal shows, right? And
Sure.
everybody always, some people think, they're taboo and, this and that. I mean, I think I can go on record since 2017, every recording that I have even spoke about it. I always said ghost hunters, Jason and Grant and them, they've always seemed to be the realest to me. Yes, they're going to glorify a little bit here and there.
Sure.
But for me, like in the very beginning when it was, Jason and Grant and they ran it, and to me, I still think, even though it was TV, I think they were probably the realest that's ever been on TV. Besides, I'm going to say Johnny Zaffis too. However, Sci-Fi was a little bit more, because I worked with Sci-Fi for a minute. Nothing ever came of it, but I know how they are. You know what I mean?
Well, they all are Hollywood, because they gotta keep it that way.
Yeah.
But dealing with Ghost Nation, Jason and the guys, it was great because Jason and the guys, they're all like me. We all think the same, so everything's not paranormal. We can go in and we can figure it out. Then we got to be on that level. So it was really great working with them, and I know the Travel Channel has their mix because there was more darker depth stuff that I caught prior to them coming out, and when they were there that you did not see on the show. And I found out that Travel Channel doesn't want to go that far into rated R with their show because they already have that show, and that's Ghost Adventures.
Oh. Is that a show? Is that called a show?
So yeah, Travel Channel's getting all the shows now instead of Destination America, Sci-Fi, A&E. They do have Ghost Hunters on there.
I do watch the Ghost Hunters on there. Because it's Grant. I love Grant. The last couple of episodes, I will say, I was just a little disappointed in how not Grant acted, but maybe some of the other team members. You know what I mean? And that's just my opinion. But I do love Grant. Love Grant. I think he's an excellent investigator. You know what I mean?
I met him back when they investigated the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base years and years ago, like 2007 maybe, which was really cool because that's my neck of the woods. So, got to sit and talk to them. That's the only time I ever really met him compared to Jason, because Jason, I talk to him almost every day. Being with the Taps family, being the Midwest team, because before this COVID-19, we were booked. I mean, I still have 22 cases to get out there and do. Plus, they're still coming in.
Wow.
I can't do nothing right now.
That's awesome. And that's awesome. And that's awesome you get to work with them. Like, I'm going to be totally geeking out right now, and I don't care what anybody thinks about me, but Jason is the only one I haven't met from Ghost Hunters,
Okay.
And they were who I watched and looked up to. Thank God it was them and not the other Ghost Adventures. I'm sorry, but thank God it was them, because I feel like it was a very educational / it showed people how to respect the field, respect what you're doing, and respect the homeowners, especially, and the places you're at,
Oh, yeah.
And yeah. So Jason I would totally, I was starstruck the first time I met Grant. I was starstruck the first time I met Steve and Tango. I totally am going to be starstruck because I haven't never met him and it's been so long. So it's like this build up. You're like, oh, I'm going to be like, oh, geeky.
Well, I think I get that way too. Even though they do the same stuff that we do, just because they're on TV, you still get that, when you meet them. And it's like, when I first met met them this time when they showed up at the church, I was there probably 15 minutes before they showed up, and of course here comes these SUVs, these black SUVs, and I'm like, okay, they're tinted windows. This has to be them.
I'd have been all excited. I'm like,
it was the production crew at first, and then they asked where to park, and I told them park over here, and then another SUV pulled in, and it was Jason. And then all of a sudden, this Jeep Cherokee pulls up, and it's Steve and Tango, because, of course, everyone knows Steve will not get on an airplane.
Right.
Yeah.
And he drove. That's a rental car that he got from out where he's from, and he drove it straight to Ohio.
I wonder if he gets car sick. He seems like this person that just has all kinds of issues.
Yes, he's got them all. He's the spiders, and I saw that. With my with my own eyes at that church, going in the basement. But yeah, it was really cool. But it was still at the beginning of meeting them. It's like, okay, what do I say? This is my case. You think about that. It's my case. They're here to help me, but you're still that. I don't want to step on anyone's feet. I want to step back.
No, and how nerve-wracking is it? Because even though it's TV, and they still, it's almost like you're double checking everything you're doing as an investigator. Am I supposed to say that, or I'm not supposed to say that?
Yeah.
Should I put this somewhere, or should I not put this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Should I take pictures? Flash? No flash.
Well, I did the same thing. It's like, hey guys, I really don't want to bother you, but you're here to help me. But can I get a photo with you guys? And, the first person I asked to do that was actually Brad. Brad is the owner of Ping Pong Productions. He actually was there. And he's usually not there. He's usually with John Gates. And but it was cool. He stayed with us, the majority of the time. And he goes, yeah, nobody knows who I am. And I'm like, well, I do.
That's cool.
I got to share all these photos, of course, and I had to wait the week prior to the show coming on.
Yeah.
But then, Steve and Tango, I did it when we actually was in the church talking to the family at the beginning of the show.
Right.
Because we were standing there waiting for the family to sit down, and the production company was trying to get them positioned, and I'm like, can we get a photo right now? And they're like, sure. And then it was funny because you see Dave always with that pad of paper, and I'm like, let's see what's on that pad of paper, because I'm curious to watch you write. He does a lot of tic-tac-toes. He'll write some names down if something that he said that'll click, that he'll remember for the case. So it's pretty cool to watch that. And then the first night, we set up the equipment, and I'm at the base command, and Jason goes, hey, let's get a photo. It's a time. I was like, sweet, boom. He told me. So the one with me and him, I shared it. That, and then I think it was the third night. He goes, you can share that on the Ghost Nation page if you want to. And I was like, duh.
Oh, that's cool.
And so yeah, they were really nice, laid back.
Well, they are. I'm imagining Jason is the same way. You know what I mean? Like Grant, Steve and Tango would crack me up. I love that.
Jason's just a little German kid, German background. He was telling me some stories, when he was in school. It's just funny. I mean, he's hilarious and he's serious, because what he did to me, what proved to me he was a good guy is if you watch the episode the main concern for the pals was to get their oldest daughter to come back and live with them because she's been staying with grandma, and she's scared of that church and the house. And he actually pulled her to the side because I was like, the main reason is the daughter to me, not what's going on, but the daughter. And he talked to her for like 30 minutes. And it was really nice to, for him to sit there and explain to her, what we're going to do and how some people think paranormal is bad when it's not. Paranormal is a nice name. So giving it to her on that low spectrum, she actually, and now I'm friends with the family, and she comes and goes. She's there more now. She's 18. She just graduated, but she's being more with her family, and that was the main concern.
So this is the thing that I love is that Ghost Hunters and Ghost Nation both are gearing the shows more towards private homes again. Like it was like old school, which I love, which I miss. I miss it. I don't know how, the TV shows are going to like all these historical sites and doing all these big, huge things. And, the public kind of, dropped off, so I love seeing them helping private homes, again. For sure.
Absolutely. And that's what my team, we do a lot of is we're more glued to helping residential cases. I do a lot a year compared to, once a year we give ourselves a treat. Like, where do we want to go this year? Do one of those buildings that, people go and pay big bucks for.
Right.
But this past year, of course, we didn't do it.
Yeah.
Because of everything going on. But yeah, it's more to me, that's the paranormal to me is the helping the families.
Absolutely. I agree.
And it helps us too, because we're learning different, we're learning in this field regardless. I don't care how many years you've done it, how many, investigations you did. I'm learning every day, and just learning from a family member that's staying with us, because I always tell the family members, mom and dad, to stay there with us. And they're like, oh, really? You don't want the house? And I was like, no, would you really want a group of people that you don't know to come in your house and you leave for the night?
Yeah, right. That's the same way we feel.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't think so, because, then, and I still feel awkward, and Patty too, when we're in the master bedroom. It's like, we don't like nobody in our bedroom, so this is sort of weird. And but yeah, it's like, that's our main concern, and then they're giving us techniques they're not even in the field because we're so brainwashed into what this piece of equipment does. But then they say something common sense and like, never thought of that.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a fan of investigating with clients. I've always preferred that the location be as normal as possible. You know what I mean? So no matter what time we're there, if we're there at 3:00 in the afternoon, I want activity to resume exactly how it would at 3:00 in the afternoon. Like we're not even there, So I do that, but I am one where, and they've investigated with me, especially private homes, because you never know what they're lying about, what they're not lying about, and why. You know what I mean? Like you can't put yourself out there. You got to make sure. So I always was the one opening up drawers and cabinets and looking under beds and opening up closets, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like making sure that everything.
That's what Patty does, Patty.
I love Patty.
She's looking at the medications on the counter. And
absolutely.
The girl.
Like to figure out what the medication's for and stuff like that.
and they really don't understand the side effects. And then, Patty's right there Googling it. And we were in a case in a town not far from where we live now. And the granddaughter was on this pill and they didn't know the side effects. And Patty looked it up, and it's like everything that they were mentioning, this is on this pill. But we did get activity there. Now, this case, of course, was totally different because we're running the Ovilus and the Ghost Box, and it's totally taken us to a different case, but it was on the property.
Oh, wow.
A boy, because the house, there's a street, it's like a U shape, and they're in the middle, and the house. It took us to where the boy committed suicide by this tree because this family, they were like teenagers and the parents didn't want their daughter to see this boy. And it was a big thing in the newspaper. And he snuck in the back way to talk to her. And the cops came. And when they were getting close, he shot himself.
Oh, wow.
But the equipment directed us to that boy. I'm like, wait a minute, this is weird. You know, it was telling us to go outside. There was a pool. There was a rock. There was a tree. The boy's name. And I'm like, do you guys know anything about this? And they're like, oh. So then they get the newspaper and bam, there it is. You know, the story.
Wow.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
So you don't really know what you're doing until you turn on your stuff, and it's like your energy. It goes well. That piece of equipment goes well with the energy that you have, and it's just like it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I it's good to hear that there's groups out there that really are helping private homes, and the fact that they're coming back out. So I want you to, as much as you can. I don't know what you're like. Can't talk about or what you can talk about, but as much as you can, because like I said, we always talk about the shows on
okay, sure.
You've been a part of it. So from the beginning, so is it really like, oh, here's this group that's tried helping these people and, they seem to not be able to get anywhere or get any answers. So they reached out to us for help, or was it, was it almost like a referral type of a thing?
Well, the TAPS family, that they have a new system now called UPRO, United Paranormal Research Organization, that Jason has gathered, and it's just basically, instead of using the name TAPS family, it's the same thing. Basically they just, it starts out with we reach out to them because we have our direct phone numbers and their email addresses and things like that. And we're like, hey, this needs to be checked out. Well, then it goes from Jason. I talk to him. Then it goes to the producers of Ping Pong. Then they call and they want information. And I can share this. I mean, they ask for the background of the location because they do research themselves, the producers. Any evidence that you gather, video, audio, anything, personal experiences, photos, send it to them. Then, we ask our clients, hey, do you want this to be on national television? And if they say yes, then it goes on. Then I give their information to the production company. Production company starts to talk to them. And I'm staying in the loop with everybody during the whole time. And then we get a scheduled time to come out and film. And like our case, it was Tuesday through Saturday. And we started at noon and we were done at early in the morning. So, it was an all day thing. And then
so wait, really quick. So I might've missed this, but
sure.
You ask the client to submit the cases to this reach out program or reach out thing or
I do this. We do it for them. Any case that we get that I feel like it would be great for the Ghost Nation show because we know the layout of how Ghost Nation is. Always ask, hey, would you be interested in having this on national television? Well, what do you mean?
Right. Okay.
I go through the spiel of, this is who I work with.
Right.
We're the teams out here. We're the front line.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and we get them out there because I've actually got one lined up that we should have been filming now this week.
But they have somebody in every state, right? So you're Ohio, I know they have somebody in Jersey they go to. They have somebody.
Yes. But lately Jason has put me in the Midwest because he worked with me. And I'm like, well, you've got TAPS family all over. But he says, well, it just depends. So, we're going to, I've got Louisville case to do, Indiana case to do, Northern Ohio cases, Kentucky. So it just depends.
Right.
And then if they can get a hold of the others. But the team, the organization is huge. I mean, it just doesn't cover certain states. It covers all states. It covers other countries. So it's really fascinating.
Yeah. I really, 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 really miss private cases. It's it's one of my favorite things to do, honestly.
I miss the questionnaire part of it too.
I just miss help. You know what I mean? Like that hope from.
If I got anything that way, I'll throw it your way. you guys can do.
I would love to. I mean, I love helping the private homes. But here's my question.
Sure.
When you ask that question
Uh-huh.
and the family says, yeah, we'll be on TV, do you think that that's normal? Like, do you think that's like, because to me, I would be like, why do you want to glorify? Like, somebody that, like, to me, a private house case, like, normally, I mean, honestly, this is in our faces, right? It's on every channel. People are seeing this paranormal stuff, but maybe I'm living in the dark ages or back in the day where people didn't want anybody to know, not even their neighbors.
Oh yeah, I still have those cases where you know that as we're talking, doing the preliminary before we go in, they want it confidential. They don't want us to put anything out there. They don't even want us to do photos or Facebook Live while we're there. And I get it, and that's what we do is we'll keep it confidential. But then you've got the people that when you're there investigating, we want them to be natural. So if it's in the evening and we're setting up cameras throughout their home, the family's in the living room watching TV. We come down later to take a break and they're watching a paranormal show. And then you got the wife talking to her friends. Yeah, I got a paranormal team right here, right now tonight.
Yeah.
You got to watch those. So we take that all, just like, how we investigate. We take everything in and absorb it and figure out how the next technique or the next way we're going to do it. And that's the same way with this. If they're like that, I'm not going to. Right. I don't care if it's, but I just got to be careful with it. So usually I don't ask that until after the investigation.
Right.
And after several investigations, hey, do you want to, would you mind doing this? Because and they're like, yeah, well, then they're like scared. Well, no, what if it's out there now that everybody starts knocking on my door hours of the night and they want to check my house.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to be careful the ones you ask. And then we give a breakdown, like, hey, this is serious. This will be national television. It'll be played over and over and over. It's going to be on different, networks after this. Because when they say yes right away, then I'm going to start putting a little fear into it a little bit.
Right.
Let them know what they're really getting into because they have to leave the house.
Right.
They have to leave their house for 5 days and leave this production company in their house.
Okay, so this is a question I've always wondered. And if you can't answer it, that's fine. I don't care, but I'm just going to ask it. Does the show provide shelter, like pay for them? Like if they don't have anywhere to go, will they pay for somebody to?
Yeah, that's part of their plan is they set them up into a hotel.
Okay, well that's awesome then. I always thought that. I was like, I wonder, like, where are you going to go for a week? Like, I would be like, exactly. I was like,
yeah.
I'm like, I know where I want to go. Gladly.
Yeah, set me up in I like to investigate, so you can put me in Penn State or somewhere. But they take care of the families.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because when you tell them that they have to leave for 5 days, it's different from one night when you're there and you got the group in your house. But when they have full control, they open and they lock your doors. You're not allowed to come there at all until we call you to do the reveal. And then once the reveal is done, then they can stay there because the last day is all the reenactment stuff, like on our show with the priest and the child. If you watch it, you'll know who the priest is. The priest is he's Jim Wilson on my team.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And the little boy that's playing Thomas, that's my nephew.
Oh, that's cool.
And so it's been really cool. I mean, my nephew, it's my great nephew. I got him in that, and he's already people are calling him left and right, wanting him to do different things because they saw him on there. He's on that. He's got on the website, the IDM website. Yeah, they want him to do all kinds of things. And now he's like, this is really cool. 12 years old.
I know a lot of people are like, I don't want anything to do with any of those shows. But listen, if Ghost Hunters or Ghost Nation was like, hey, you want to be on the show? Like, yeah. So go
Yeah,
on.
trust me. Before it was over, and I still talk to Jay. Hey, Jay, if you ever need any help on one of these big cases, call me.
That's
And
cool.
so it's just something I ask, because it's, hey, who wouldn't want to be on TV?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to put their name in there, So
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
not shy.
What?
I said, I'm not shy, so I'm all about it.
Yeah. Yeah, there was, I guess I could talk about it now because it's been like, I signed a contract for 2 years. I guess I could talk about it now, right? I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it was when I was with a certain group I never mentioned. And, he's like, oh, I'm going to pick like 10 people. Sci-fi's coming here. We're going to have like this. It's going to be a show about, a ghost hunter store,
I
and
remember that.
whatever. So
Well, you just gave it away with the ghost.
I know, right?
I said a ghost hunter store.
Oh, well, don't matter. Oh, you changed the first the word to A.
It's a ghost hunter store.
Okay.
So they were like, and then it got down to like they picked like 10 people, and it was like, I'm in this like part of this 10 people, and so then they're like, all right, we're gonna film one scene. Now at the time, he's my ex now, but my ex-boyfriend at the time, was starting to be a part of the group, and the head person of the group was like in love with him, so it was like, yeah, he's in just because, So he was like a part of the 10 people, and the production people are like, okay, you, since you're boyfriend and girlfriend in real life, so when people watch it, the people that know you are gonna be like, oh my god, they're really boyfriend and girlfriend. You're not allowed to say anything to anybody. Sure. And so I start cheating on Jay with somebody over here, and to have this like drama within the store, and I'm like, really? Like, yeah, and then you see him, you catch him kissing some other buddy out around the block, and I'm like, okay.
So it's sort of like a paranormal Jersey Shore.
Yeah, right.
That's what it sounded like, and I'm like, I don't know about this, and then we never heard anything after that. Like, they came out there, they filmed us, they like did all this stuff, and then, it just, thank God, because I would have been hated by America because I was like cheating on my boyfriend.
I'd be like, wow, how rude.
All my friends would be like, what a slut. I can't even tell you guys, like, no, it's fake.
True. That's great. But yeah, it's about drama, paranormal somehow, it just draws drama, and it's just like no part of that. No part of it.
Right. It's funny you bring that up because Johnny Zaffis was on last week?
Yeah, last night.
He started talking about paranormal drama. He's like, every time I'm around people, they're like, there's so much drama at paranormal. And it's so true.
Right? Usually it's the one that's talking about it.
Right. But he's like, what groups, fraternities, clubs, whatever. Who doesn't have drama?
Yeah.
There's drama everywhere.
There's drama at work.
There's drama at work. There's drama at home. Like there's drama, so
it's just part of our lives.
Yeah. So that's my new answer. I'm going to quote Uncle Johnny, and I'm just going to say what he says, because normally,
that's what I call him.
Yeah. So because normally when people say that, I'm like, yeah, there is a lot of drama. Yeah, there is. I'm not even a part of it. I'm like in the background. I don't even know who half of anybody is. So I'm always like, what's going on? Who? What? I shouldn't like that group's page. I don't even know. What?
Exactly. You just shake your head and just move on and let those clowns go through. That's what I do, because eventually they fade away. Yeah. It's like this wasn't meant for them. Right. They're not really in the field to do what they want to do. Because I don't know how many, and I'm not going to say names, but I get so many calls, and some of these that Jason had sent. We had a team out here, and they just came in and they really didn't help us. They just gathered as much information as they can, but then they said that they're going to charge us, and we can come back and we can sage your house. Now sage your house, and they will charge you. So Patty looks up the team.
Wait,
and she called it.
because I tried doing this a couple of, when was that? I wonder if it was the same people.
A lot
This
of
team
them do
was,
it though. A lot of them.
yeah, this team was out of Louisville, Kentucky. I will share that.
Oh,
Yeah.
And Patty called and acted like a normal, residential person, sent them an email, and they said, yeah, we can come and save your house for $25. And that's not, and I'm like, then he kept on sending her emails. Hey, do you want that done? Do you want that done?
that is crazy.
And that's
Yeah,
actually cheap.
Yeah, that's cheap.
That-
That's good.
I said that's actually cheap.
That's freaking cheap.
That is, isn't it?
We heard all their fees.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I was thinking that group's probably, because I looked at them and they look like a bunch of stoners. I was like, yeah, they're going to come in there and smoke a joint in your house and say it's sage for $25.
Right.
Quarter ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're nickel dime.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't care what anybody's poison is, as long as when you're on an investigation, nothing. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta keep your head in the game. You know?
Absolutely. You're there. You're not there for yourself, because that's the thing. And I try to tell clients, we're here to help you. We're a complete stranger. That's why I like to do it, a preliminary. That's why I call myself a counselor.
Yep.
Because we come in and we take time away from our daily lives, our family, and we're here to help you, a total stranger that we just met. And we're not here to goof off. We're here to help you.
Yeah.
So, we take our time serious, especially if we travel to go to these places. 45 minutes is nothing, but when I have to travel 2 hours or more, I'm here to help you.
Well, I'll tell you this. In the last, I don't know what, I say this, I've said this a lot because I'm proud of it. The last 4 private house cases that we've had, we've needed no investigation. We've helped the families. And the last one were 3 young children, which I'm most proud about, because everybody knows I don't have any kids. I'm not a human kid person. I am, a fur baby mom, and so for us to be able to help these young little girls, like how old were they? There was what was it?
Little.
Yeah, they were small. They were
4 and 2.
under 12.
Little. Yeah.
And
So of course, your heart is open to help them because they're kids there.
oh my God, they became a priority, right? So
Absolutely.
it was every 2 weeks, but now it's once a month, and now it's every 2 months. I check in with the mom, and I'm like, "How's everything going?" They're like,
Excuse me.
"The girls are sleeping in their rooms. Everybody."
What did you do to help them?
Power of suggestion, really. You have to also think, okay, I'm not disclaiming that what the one little girl is she's a little storyteller, and you can tell when she's telling the truth, and you can tell when she's exaggerating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but she was the most voiceful, and she was willing to talk to us, which was awesome. And when she started asking us questions, you could tell that those were really what she was afraid of. And, so Beth and Sabrina actually came up with this like sage spray and holy water and sage spray, and, talk to the girls, and they're like, anytime you see something you don't like, you spray it, and say, this is going to make you go away. And, and this and that. And they've, been good. We've given them 2 bottles, and everything is good. And things are happening less and less and less. So that's something that I'm proud of,
Oh, absolutely. And it goes back to being a counselor. You're pushing them out of talking about the paranormal to just, common sense. Let's don't go dark, because you got people out there that think they want their place haunted. When you ask, hey,
yeah, well, their place is haunted. There is spirit activity in that place. Just the walk through, we had EVPs, the house is old, it's one of them things where the founder of the town built the house. They lived in it. Their whole family's buried on the back of the property. Previous to that was Indian, it's just like, it's like the trifecta,
oh yeah.
Oh, and they built the house around a well. So there's a well
Right.
inside the house.
So there's energy right there. Yeah.
I mean,
And
it's
then,
insane.
and then the negative neighbors, very negative neighbors.
Yeah, disrespectful.
That don't help either.
And-
No.
Yeah. So it's a trifecta. So there's legit, I mean, she has shared stuff with me. And when we were there, stuff had happened. So it's legit, but
Sure.
we managed to help them set boundaries. And
That's awesome.
you know what I mean? And they're okay. They're like, we're good. And she's like, I know I can call if I need you.
Yeah, that is so awesome.
Yeah. So that's what I don't go to a private home hoping to get an investigation. I just
Absolutely
go there
not.
hoping to help, you know, and that's my goal. Right. I
Yeah,
know
because
that's how you think.
Yeah, I think we're all that way here. I think, because if I have investigations lined up and then I get a call and it could be 2 days before the investigation I have scheduled, and they tell me that they have kids and they're giving me a breakdown, boom, that's coming in priority. If they need us there right away, I'm calling that other client saying, hey, I need to move you because there's a child that I have to take care of, because that's a number one thing with Jason. Kids come first.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
So any residential that they do on Ghost Nation, if there's a child involved, it comes first, priority to anything. So yeah, the kids, they touch my heart. Losing 2 kids, boom, I have to go out. That's my thing.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna bring that up. I was gonna let you tell your story if you wanted to tell it. Because I was gonna ask you, how'd you get into the paranormal?
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I got involved in 1998 after losing my son at 2 weeks old. He had hypoplastic left heart, and I didn't know what that was. But when he was born, passing him around, I'm holding him. I hand him to my mother-in-law, and she goes, his face is blue. So the nurse grabs him, and she tells me to come with her. We go in the back, to this little room, and his oxygen, his level was low instead of high. It was like 63. I remember 63. I'm like, what's this mean? And they're saying, well, he's got issues breathing. Well, we were there all day, and then they sent him to another hospital. Then they sent him to Children's Hospital. So he passed away at 2 weeks old. He had a 13-hour surgery to put a little tiny shunt in his heart.
Mm-hmm.
And he passed away that next morning.
Wow.
And then about a month after he passed away, we still didn't touch his nursery, but it was at that time frame, it was baby Looney Tunes. And one morning, it was a Saturday morning, I get up to go, I was going to play golf, get out of the shower, and I can hear the mobile in his bed, over his bed, going backwards. I was like, that song is supposed to be going the opposite. Open the door, and the mobile is just swinging.
Wow.
So I creaked the door open. My ex-wife was already gone, but I thought somebody was punking me. So I go into the room, and I'm looking around. The closet door was open, and it was a big closet. So I look in there, and I'm waiting for somebody to jump out. Nobody there, but you get that feel like you got to leave. Close the door. I'm out golfing, and everybody's like, you're not right. And I'm like, no. I says, you wouldn't believe me. I was like, I don't know. So that night I started doing some research. I had AOL dial-up. The only people that I could really find in paranormal was that Most Haunted group, the British group.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not reaching out to them because I'm reading reviews about them. I'm like, no thanks. So then on Yahoo, I got this email like, hey, for meetup groups about anything you talk. So I typed in paranormal. And there was 1,000 pages. And I was like, oh, let me see if there's anybody near me. So there was. And it was really cool to talk to people, And then in 99, I went on my first investigation. And it was Moundsville Penitentiary in Wheeling, West Virginia. And here I am. I got a big, heavy-duty C battery flashlight, regular, no LED. And I had a voice recorder, which was the tapes, analog, and then I had a little tiny handy cam camera. And we're in there investigating, and we had people in there coming and going, and this guy that was running it, he says, hey, you're the only ones here tonight. And he's like, so I'll be up in my bunk sleeping if you need me to, Amy. So me and my friend was there, so I was like, this is cool. And we're down in the Sugar Shack area, and I'll never forget this because something was pulling my pant leg up on my right leg. And I was like, do you see this? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, if he gets to my knee, I'm going to swing. Somebody was just pulling and I was like, you got to think where we are. We're in a prison. And right then, the two-way goes off, and it was the guy upstairs. He goes, hey, my son is here. Can he come down and investigate with you guys? He loves this stuff. Sure. Wow. So we go up, and it took us forever because I was two-waying him. How do I get to you? I don't know where I'm at. And we get there, and he steps in the light, and he had a ball cap on, cowboy boots. And I'm like, really, cowboy boots, buddy? And I was like, because we're going to hear you on this concrete. Well, who it is, if you think about it, this guy's from Wheeling, West Virginia. It was Brad Paisley. His dad was a guard there. And that was his dad that was a volunteer.
Oh, wow.
So, so we investigated with him all night.
That's awesome. He seems so cool. He seems so cool.
He was a cool dude. And it seemed like he was looking up to me like, you got, and I'm like, dude, this is my first investigation ever, I swear. And then in 2000, my daughter was born, and she was born with what they call imperforated anus, where the rectum wasn't developed. So she went through 54 surgeries her whole life. She passed away in 2005 when they removed 90% of her colon. And that's when they said the autopsy was sepsis in the bowels. Because at that time, I was doing investigations left and right. And I created, ParaVizionz. For about a time I started getting deep into it, started helping people, and I wanted to get away because I was like, God, you're number one. And I still this day, prayers before we start, prayers after we're done. And if you don't want me in this, tell me. And God gave me the sign. He says, no, Lee, you belong here because you need to help these people get out of this darkness. I want you to be my messenger. So that's what I'm doing today is, I'm still doing his work, and I love it. Helping everybody, having the two kids. I know my spirit guides because I always think that one's on one side, one's on the other. You got the little devil angel and the angel on this side, and you got just like the cartoon. Go into a place, and I'm in this room. If my body's not telling me, my ears start to ring on either side, and I'm like, whoa, one of the kids are telling me don't go in there.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
So I tell people, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I thought you were done.
I was going to say that, when people ask me, what's my favorite piece of equipment, and I'm like, well, it's nothing you buy. My body is my best piece of equipment. My mind, my body, chills, my stomach. I was like, it's like, you go into a haunted house, you get those nerve feelings. You get on a roller coaster, it's a different feeling. You're scared walking down a dark alley. I was like, your body is the best tool for paranormal.
Absolutely.
I agree too.
So you can go spend thousands of dollars. That's fine, but it's good to document it. But your body's the best.
Yep. That's what I say all the time. I'm like, I have like bags of equipment that I've spent thousands of dollars on. Ask me how much. Ask me what I bring on an investigation. It's like
just your recorder.
My recorder, a camera, but I don't barely use it. Maybe something, but I hate equipment. It's just me. I'm clairaudient, so I can hear. You know what I mean? Yep. So, and I Beth like I love Beth and Sabrina and Tony. Like, we all kind of just
you work well together.
Yeah. And we all bring something different, as I'm sure ParaVizionz does. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because my team, they all bring something different. And when I capture something, Patty will be the first to admit, I get very excited. Like, whoa.
Where is Patty? Where is she?
She's actually downstairs crocheting.
That little stink needs to come up and say hi. I know she's watching. She better
Patty,
say hi.
Say hi.
Tell her to come give me a virtual hug. I miss her.
Yeah, I'm talking to you. Come here. He said, just a second.
Oh my God, I love her.
She loves crocheting now. That's her big thing.
I see this on Facebook.
Yeah, she just made a bag, like a beach bag or something you take, your stuff. She made it, and a girl that she knows goes, "I want to buy that."
Good for her.
She makes mittens. She makes scarves. She makes all these ladies' scarves, different styles, and
That's awesome. Good
trust
for
me,
her.
I get in trouble because I like to talk, and she's counting because crochet is all about counting. And she'll give me the look, and I'm like, "Whoa, it's that Jersey look," because she's from Jersey. So I'm like,
That's why I love her.
I'm like, and I tell people here, you got to know the look.
Yeah, well, I lived in Ohio for 3 years.
Oh, where at?
Fremont.
Okay.
So yeah, Cincinnati was probably about 2 hours from Fremont. We were 45 minutes from Toledo. Is this my woman?
This is her. Taryn wants you to come on and say hi.
Hi, babe.
How are you?
I miss you.
Miss you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I am tired today because no one in my house gets any sleep.
We have a dog that's got a collapsed trachea. Our little Chihuahua. He's old, and he coughs constantly. We have to give him this cough medicine, and he wants to do it like 2 hours before your alarm goes off.
Fun times.
Yeah, and it's like having a kid, and you try to go back to sleep, but you can't. So.
Or having like cats that their clock starts ticking 2 hours before you get up. Yep.
Yeah. So up at 1:30, up at 5:30, straight to work. It's fun.
Oh God.
What do you?
You're big into crocheting.
I gave up tonight.
So you're crocheting, what about the paranormal world? Like, what are you doing? Are you kind of like in the background? Are you, just waiting?
Oh. Yeah, no, I'm still going strong,
Yeah, the thing is with the Ghost Nation, they only want one person from your team. And then the one that we got coming up, Patty didn't go, but she'll be on the next one.
So no, the only reason I'm saying that is because I was saying that you guys were the first. Well, Lee was one of the first people. A couple of shows we had in 2017. In 2017, you had kind of stepped back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was tired of all the drama.
There it is again.
Hey,
But sounds like us.
A way of seeping into your personal life.
Yeah.
But I don't put up with that because you know that I'm a Jersey girl also.
Yes, absolutely.
There you go. In my case, it's better to step back before I say something that I will regret.
When that rattlesnake name starts going.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you don't live in New Jersey. Unfortunately, you're in Jersey. You're like a product of your environment, right? You're just like, you got to get out. Oh, you're lucky. But anyway.
So I did. I pulled back. I switched my Facebook to 99% family and
classroom friends and
high
just
school
some
people.
friends.
Yeah. And I've always been a kind of big believer in we have a team page for the team. That's it. My life is my life. I take our investigating very seriously.
Yeah, you guys do it. That's why I love you guys.
Oh, she's like I was telling you before. When I get excited, but she's the one that's got to bring me down like 5 levels, not 2, but 5. Like, hold on, don't say it out loud because the homeowners are with us, and they feed off of that stuff. And I'm like, you're right. Oh, you're right. Let's save it for the reveal.
Go ahead.
But for us, it's like we're there for 6 to 8 hours or more longer, and it's like when we get something, it's like. Ta-da, the energy's boosting back again, and you're like so pumped and excited. Yeah. And how many people on here and all of you guys, when you're done investigating, how many people want to go get breakfast right away because your belly? And that's the thing. Yeah, about midnight, your belly starts growling.
Yeah,
and it's like, and that's something that we do is, and it works is try to get off the subject of what's going on in the environment. And talk about just normal things. And then the activity starts to pick up. It's like, hey, you're here to talk to me, not about this. But with the first subject is always food.
Yeah, we're like excited about the diner we're going to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then I feel like they're like, you're not paying attention to me. Hello.
Yeah. One of your trigger objects will start going crazy, and then you're like, okay, now we'll get back.
We are talking about scrapple and eggs, and
Yes, I'm with you on eggs.
I introduced Lee to pork roll a couple of years ago.
Oh man, I love pork roll. Nobody here knows what that is.
no.
So
And I
awesome.
ate so much. And what's the other thing that I love that's big over there? The tomatoes.
Tomatoes with mozzarella and balsamic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Basics.
Yeah, the basic stuff. But see, that's not big here in Ohio. So at her brother's house, I'm like drinking away because they love to drink, and I think that's a Jersey thing too. The pork roll, I'm like stuffing, and then everybody wants to go swimming, and I'm like, no, I don't get this much, and I'm going to eat this first.
I will agree with you. When I lived in Ohio, one of the worst things was there was no good food anywhere.
There is a weird over there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. I was dying. I had to go to Subway for a hoagie. I was like, this sucks.
Yeah, and that is not a hoagie.
It is not a hoagie.
Luckily, we have a couple Jersey Mikes nearby, and that's about as close as it
Yeah, please.
Well,
That's
Jersey
where I
Mike's
went.
awesome.
That's one of my favorites.
That's where I went when I lived in Florida because, like, I couldn't get anything.
Well, Jersey Mike's is. I love Jersey Mike's.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah.
Jersey Mike's was a Florida staple for me too because
Yeah.
couldn't get good food.
Oh yeah.
Somebody in the chat room says they love that Taylor pork roll. I use it on eggs.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Isn't Taylor ham something different? Taylor ham and pork roll are different things.
I mean,
Well, Taylor
Yours-
ham is like the equivalent. It's like pork roll.
It's
They call
just
it Taylor
a different name.
ham.
Yeah.
yeah, no, people from Jersey, it's like that big old thing. You go back, Jimmy's or Sprinkles. When I lived in Ohio, I go up and I'm like, "Can I get a mixed cone with rainbow Jimmy's?" They're like,
Yeah.
"What?
Yeah, they're like, we don't
I
have
did that in
Jimmy's.
Florida too.
Jimmy's?
We got McDonald's sprinkles.
Jimmy's? What are Jimmy's?" And I'm like, "Sprinkles?
Yeah, what's the
Oh,
sprinkle?
We don't call them hoagies in the Midwest either. It's subs.
Subs.
I'm from
They're like
Chicago.
11 years old, turning around talking about me like, she said Jimmy's. What is that? You know, like making fun of me. I'm like, bitch, I'm from Jersey.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's totally different food here. You know, when I first went to New Jersey, I'll be honest, we was at her family's and it was morning time, and I love Mountain Dew to drink in the morning. That's my coffee because I don't drink coffee.
Woo!
And
My coffee.
by the time my coffee is done, it's like chocolate milk. I'm adding cream, sugar. Oh, let me add this, and it's chocolate milk because I don't like the taste of the coffee bean.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love coffee ice cream. I love iced coffee.
Yeah, our daughter likes that. That's her stuff. But I got in the car and I had to go find Mountain Dew. And I tell these people here, you know, 7-Eleven, they're no longer here. They've not been here for years. I said, hey, I went into 7-Eleven. I don't know how I got there, but I just knew I was on routes and it was loops, routes. And I had to call Patty and say, what's your brother's address? Because I'm lost and I got to GPS my way back. But I did found I found a towel head that has some Mountain Dew, and I got some, and I'm excited. And now I paid an arm and a leg for these 12 packs of Mountain Dew, but I still had Mountain Dew.
That's awesome.
He goes, because he told me when I got at the counter, he goes, you're not from here, are you? And I'm like, nope. And he goes, I can tell you're getting our Mountain Dew.
That's funny. Huh.
You should try Boost.
What is it?
Yeah, that's
No. As a matter of fact,
number boost.
see, this is how weird it is, right? Here I am, and this is my. I will drive 2.5 hours for Adams.
Gettysburg.
Oh, Rebel Red.
Rebel
But
I
just
think
not
it
just
is.
that.
Sweet wine.
Adams County Winery, like they are the best. So
And that's in Gettysburg, right?
yeah. So this is awesome, Patty. Before you came on, I was talking about how you guys, before I was a part of a group, I went to Phenomenology all by myself. I was this just little lonely little thing walking around, and you guys are like, "Oh, you come on an investigation with us tonight." I bought a ParaVizionz T-shirt. I was like a huge fan, you know. And I go on my first investigation with a professional paranormal group, and I was like, after that, and Lee reminded me, Ben Hansen was there. Remember, we heard the knock on the door. All kinds of stuff happened.
Well, that's what Ben Hansen knocked on too. After we got the first one, then the boom, boom.
Oh, yeah. And then he did a cop.
He comes in and he goes, "Can I investigate with you guys?" I'm like,
Scared the crap out of us.
it was a cop knock. Like, he is like, well, he was in the FBI. So
yeah.
he had that. He was like, boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
I was like, that's the police.
We're not trying to be too loud.
They know we're supposed to be here, right?
Yeah.
And then it's Ben Hansen. You know?
Was that prior to being in a group already, Taryn? Were we already?
Oh, yeah, no. I was a little enthusiast running around. I went to Gettysburg.
So it was before I met you then. It was their first, it has to have been first the Phenom.
It might have been like 102, 103, maybe. I don't remember.
102.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 102.
Oh, I was out there by myself, and I had a blast. And then those guys, and then like we investigated all night. Like we totally took advantage of that.
You know what? Those were fun. Those were fun phenomenologies because we all hung out in the lobby and just had a blast with each other.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's really casual.
But you know, the one that creeped me out was Travis Walton. Were you down in the lobby when Travis Walton came through?
Dude.
Yeah. Fire in the sky.
Fire in the sky guy.
Yeah. No, he was weird. When I went to get a picture with him, it felt weird.
That's
not weird in like a bad way. It was just this weird. You're like
different.
It was a different vibe around him.
Yeah.
It felt like I wasn't like if I get too close, I may be abducted or something.
Yeah.
Because we're all sitting down there and Bill Bean's playing a guitar and I was like, "Bill," and I nudged Bill's arm and I was like, "He's talking to himself." And he walks past the elevator and he's talking to someone and he's looking at this person that's not there.
Oh, wow.
And Bill goes over and says, "Hey," and all of a sudden they're praying.
As I recall, he just like turned around and left.
Yeah, and he walked away. He didn't even come over and say hi to us or nothing. He just went.
I got a picture with him. And just asking him the picture. Like I was just. But that was the one. That was the one that Christopher Lutz, Quarantino, because he changed his name. But Christopher Lutz was at.
Yeah.
And, was it that one or was it the next one?
I think that was the following one right after.
Yeah, because I would have totally like.
Oh, it was the following one.
I'm fascinated by that one.
Yeah.
So.
Have you talked to him?
No.
You have to. You absolutely have to. You guys have to talk to him some way. I mean, he's, I've messaged him a couple of times and, like we get like once in a while responses, but I talked to him at that phenomenology and literally talked to him for like an hour and a half. One, felt like 20 minutes. Two, it was like this, you would think you would get this bad energy from him, whatever. It was like the total opposite. It was like this angelic, and he had me captivated the entire time. And his story is amazing because it's absolutely nothing what the movie portrays it to be.
That's why I do want to talk to him.
Yeah,
I'm fascinated to hear it.
I'm just going to interrupt this real quick. There's a Daryl saying hi from South Africa.
Wow.
Oh,
hi, Daryl.
Awesome.
Wow. I see that now.
Gee. South Africa.
South Africa.
Hey, man. Awesome.
That's rugby union country.
Wow. Hello. Welcome.
Cheers.
Yeah, I see Gina just says, "Ghost just opened the door behind you, Taryn." I said the same thing.
I kind of nudged Lee with your door open. I'm like, hey.
Was it Roscoe?
Why are you in the bathroom doing your show?
It's the best lighting I have.
I asked that last time.
That's a good question.
The wine.
It's the wine.
The best lighting. Or the
Best
wine.
lighting.
But it is the best lighting.
Yeah,
This house is humongous, and I cannot find. If you go back and you watch just like 5 seconds of like the past Paranormal Brews, you'll see me. I'm walking around this entire house trying to find good lighting. And I'm like, you know what, this is it. Of course, my animals, I have 5 of them, and they
They're
can't
animals.
be alone for 3 seconds.
Yep, that's how it is here. You know what? The dogs love me when I'm alone. As soon as Patty comes in, I don't exist. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm covered with dog hair right now.
yeah.
It's awesome. Why not? That's
Exactly.
like human people being covered in baby vomit from their human babies. It's just
You know a place that I miss in Gettysburg?
What?
yes.
Is,
Go ahead. All of it, I get it.
Love it.
yeah, pretty much. When we stayed in the Lee's headquarters, there was an Italian restaurant coming into town on the
Yes.
left-hand side. Oh my God, the calzones. We go in there, me and Patty, and they're like, "You're gonna love the calzone." I'm like, "Yes, I want ricotta cheese, marinara." And he goes, "Well, that's the best one." And they brought me one out. And I'm not kidding you; it's that big,
It was huge and cheap.
and it was like $4.
See, that's how you know it's legit Italians that are cooking your food.
Oh, they were, because the family came out and asked how it was, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
fantastic.
That's how Mama Maria's is in Philly. We have to go there. You guys would love it. Mama
Wait,
Maria's.
what's the one? Well, you know what? When we were in Philly, we went to her brother's in Trenton, New Jersey. Took the train to Philly. The first thing I wanted was a Philly cheesesteak. So we go to the visiting center,
Where'd you go?
and
Where'd you get your cheesesteak?
what's that?
Where'd you get your cheesesteak? Pat's or Gina's?
Because what I did is I asked the fattest guy that worked there, because he's not going to lie. He's not going to tell me to go to Gino's on the main drag.
Not Chino's and not Pat's.
Yeah.
Some.
Yeah, it was some. He walks outside. He had his arm around me. We walk outside. He goes, "This is where I go get my Philly cheesesteak." He says, "Everybody goes down to Gino's and all that." He goes,
Right.
"You go up this alley, little turns." He goes, "It's not big." Going, oh my God, it was the best Philly cheesesteak I ever had in my life.
You never had Gino's.
No, we didn't. But their little catchphrase was, "You can't beat our meat." So
Yes,
Oh,
that was
There you
their
go.
t-shirt.
I'm a fan. Yes. That's awesome.
And they used the real cheese whiz. I mean, it was like the bomb.
Oh,
Let
man.
it go.
Not
Definitely.
bad.
Onions and- oh, my belly's growling right now.
So speaking of Philly, though, have you guys ever been to Eastern State?
No, now you guys were there.
They stopped paranormal stuff there for some reason.
What for?
huh.
I don't know.
Mm.
Which
Hopefully
sucks.
it comes
They
back.
wanted they
Paradrama.
wanted, no, it wasn't paradrama. It was more or less, they're
Paradrama.
really wanting to gear for the history
Yeah.
than the paranormal. So
However, they
that's
still
what they
do
said.
that now.
We bring the history to life.
So here's the thing: they're losing money.
What?
Now they're losing money with all these.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I believe, which is very cheap when you think about it, for 4 hours, it was $500 and your max is 10 people. So, yeah. So you don't even have to have that many. You can just say 5 of us are going. It's $100 a person. And you've got Eastern State to yourself for 4 hours. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to do it so bad, but
Yeah.
But did you guys go there for an event?
I've done it.
what?
I
You
said I
guys were there
say
for
I
an
actually
event.
investigated.
I went for the day tour. The day tour.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've always wanted to go. It was on my bucket list. That sucks.
I'm
But
sure,
you know what, though?
it'll turn around. I'm sure that it'll happen again.
Yeah,
I'm
and you
sure of
know
it.
what? I do believe though, like no matter when you go there, it's one of those places. It's like Gettysburg. There's so much energy in Eastern State, like no matter where you go. And I'm telling you, like the coolest thing that happened to me there was when we were at the haunted thing, but we paid like a ridiculous amount of money to have this like back VIP, this backdoor black tour, VIP. They took you to, all the places where normally people don't get to go.
Sure.
And naturally, I have my recorder going because, that's me. And we get to Al Capone's cell. I call it a suite because that's what it looks like.
Mhm.
And, the tour guide, there's 25 of us, and he's like telling us a story. You can barely hear anything else that's going on. Like, that's how thick the walls are in this place, right? And I put my phone through the hole where the inmates would get food. And I put my phone, and all of a sudden, the Victrola in the back starts playing 50s swing music. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, I thought it was like a motion activation thing, right? So I'm like recording, and I'm like, this is pretty cool. I'm like, oh my God, I love that, right? After that, I got a Victrola because I loved it so much. Like, that's how much of an impression it made on me. And as we're going by, but then I was like, oh my God, it was so loud. I can't believe the tour guide was able to continue talking, like I feel bad. Like, I was embarrassed because I thought I made this thing go off. And, afterwards I apologized to him. I'm like, look, I'm sorry. I didn't know that happened. He goes, what are you talking about? And I'm like, when I put my phone in, I was like, the Victrola started playing. He was like, I didn't hear anything. Right. So then I was like, did anybody else hear the Victrola playing? One other person out of 25 people heard
wow.
it. One other person. And on my recorder on my phone. So it was that was like the coolest experience I've ever had. And that was during a haunted, like, you know what I mean? Like, so you never know when they're going to.
Yeah, it's fascinating how paranormal affects just certain people in groups.
Yeah.
Because when my biggest story to me was when we were in Mansfield, walking the basement in 2011, May of 2011, there was 4 of us in a group, and Jim on our team, he was actually filming, and we had one more location in the administration area to go, and it was in the basement. And as I walk in and we turn left, I saw this man standing there in the corner. And Scott Sokol, the guy that runs the prison, I thought, okay, he's setting us up. This is a play or an act or something. But I could see everything. I read his inmate number, and I'm saying this as Jim is recording, and Jim goes, I don't see anything. I'm like, you're kidding. And I was getting a little frustrated, and I had to tell Jim I'm sorry because I could see it.
Right.
And I started walking a little bit closer to this apparition that I saw. He moves, and I jump back like, whoa. And he goes into the room there off to his left. And as I go in there, I could feel his hand touch my hand. And
That's
he was
awesome.
hanging. He was hanging. And so we call Scott. He was upstairs. And we go up there, and he says, okay, I'll get with you guys. Let me do some research and see what I find. Jim has this all on camera. He calls us up. We go into his office. He sits me down. He gives me a bottle of water. He goes, chug half of that water down because you're going to be blown away when I'm going to tell you. And he goes, nobody's ever picked this guy up before. You gave me the inmate number, so here's the information. It was I can't remember his last name, but his first name was Steven. He was in prison from 1955 to 1957 there. And in Mansfield, they had 3 or 4 places that they called the sweat box where they would put their inmates to try to, because they couldn't afford to feed them and take care of them. So they would have them commit suicide, take the bodies out back, lay them on their stomach and shoot them and tell the family that they tried to escape.
Wow.
So during this, the whole time after, I could see the prison, what it looked like back in the 50s. And that's what creeps me out. Is because I could see the wallpaper, the texture in the wallpaper. I saw the warden's picture and his wife's picture. Everything looked natural.
Right.
I'm like, wow, somebody can really experience that. And that's when I realized that my empath opened. And I wished it never did because I can't sleep now. I can't sleep without a fan.
It's interesting that you say that and the way that you put that, because I always say about like when you go into like historical places, houses for one is where I tend to get and feel the most energy. And I'm not like this. Like they know this, that they investigate with me all the time. I'm more of the investigator. Like I'm looking under and hearing, like I'm not, they're more in tune with the spiritual side of things. Yeah. So when they walk in, they're like, oh, I feel a woman, I hear this, or whatever. And I'm more whatever. But houses I go into, the energy to me is a little different. So the way that you're wording that is making sense to me.
Oh yeah.
For the first time, because like I've never looked at it that way, the way you're saying it.
Well, ever since, I knew, and then, working with it and all that stuff, I can't sleep without a fan. I got to have the noise to distract everything around me while I'm sleeping, because that's my time. Sometimes I'll get up and say, that's enough. And one night she was up watching TV and I was asleep before, and she was laying right beside me watching TV. And I jumped out of middle of sleep and said, would you give your dad the clicker? Her dad was coming to me, and her mom, because they're both passed away. They were right by me arguing. And I'm like, would you give him the clicker? And your mom, and she goes, what? I was like, your mom and dad is arguing over the clicker, which is the remote control. So I'm like, and then she said, wow, that's weird, because that's what my dad called it, was the clicker. And I'm like, man.
It's so weird, because I see like that's what I'm saying. Like I always say it on every show. I'm like, when you go into a house, wherever, you can see the people running across the floor, getting plates out for breakfast. Like I see this,
Absolutely.
And I've learned that, and I've only done it a couple of times, not searching for it. It's come to me, but people will send me pictures and be like, oh, what do you feel when you look at this? And I just feel like diarrhea of the mouth. And I'm like, it happened to me yesterday, and like totally picked up on things that I wish I didn't pick up on. It's not always good. It's not good things. It's like crime and everything, which is crazy.
True.
So that's something
some things I don't like.
I'm learning is new to me. You know what I mean? But I
think we learn every day.
Yeah.
Something new every day, because it's like, wow, sometimes it's too much.
Yeah.
Because I still get a little terrified, especially when I go into anywhere that we're investigating and I pick up somebody right away, and I can be in that room and I'm just talking to them like, well, I'm here to help you too. And, and then the clients are like, what is he talking about? And it's like, well.
See, that's Sabrina and Beth. Sabrina and Beth can walk in somewhere and they'd be like, oh, there's a woman here. There's a like anything.
Absolutely.
They walk in and I'm like, oh, that's a really cool Victorian chair. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh, I love it. They're like totally connected with spirits. I'm like, great. All right, now I'm drawn in. Let's do this.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Beth, what do you think?
About what?
Just about like what we're talking about.
What?
I'm just listening, letting you do all the talking, Taryn.
That's how I am with him.
Yeah, that's how she is.
Because she's good at that and she likes to do it. So I just let her, she does all the talking for most of our shows. And then we just, at the end, I'll say something, but we just let her go because she's good at it. Because she's a good she would be good on TV, like a good interviewer. Like if she was like on, the news or something, like she would go to all the things and, she probably should have been an interviewer. She's good at it. I mean, it's a compliment.
Yeah, she is.
Thank you.
She's good at it. And
No, but I think they're all good at it, though. But
no, I'm not. I stutter. I'll be like,
Not when it's something that you love, which is why I said to you, when you walk in a place, you pick up on something right away. You will totally feel an energy.
Sometimes, yeah.
No, always, which is awesome. You know what I mean? Because it helps with the private clients. So when you're hearing one thing from a client and then you walk in with somebody with Beth's abilities, and she's like, oh no, there's, because the clients, they're seeing what they see on TV. They're talking to people and people are telling them stuff. They're putting stuff on Facebook and getting all these like opinions. You know what I mean? So their mind's already jaded. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they're like, oh, I got this 18-foot tall guy with long arms and pulls my hair at night and pushes me down the steps. And Beth walks in and is like, No, it's like a 3-year-old. And
I don't want anybody to feel frightened because, you know, there is good and bad energy out there, but when you're helping a client, and like you were saying earlier with the children, you know, we have to leave there and give them a peace of mind, not like that show. What is that show?
Death Files.
Yeah, you know, they go in and, you know, oh, your house is going to burn and you're going to die unless you leave. Or
Which one's that?
They all want to kill you.
Death Files.
But you gotta give Amy Allen's faces.
I know.
I said she looked like it's like somebody.
That's why I can't watch.
That's where Momo came from. That's where the Momo came from.
Yeah.
It cracks me up. But I like Steve though on there.
Yeah, he's not bad. I met him.
He's not bad. He's actually. It's a shame that he got involved with her. I mean, I feel like the first season was okay, and then after that, she just went on a whole nother level, and then just kept getting worse. And every show ended in the clients crying their eyes out and wanting to sell their house.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, because can you help me? Well, no, but here's what we need you to do. Well, how are these people going to look for this person that does this, this, and this?
Yeah.
Half of the stuff she says, I'm like, where can I find that guy in China?
Well, that's what she said. She goes, you got to get a medium. Well, she is a medium. Like if she's
supposed to be.
That's what she is. What else do you call it?
Exactly. You're here already. What do you mean?
Exactly. Help me. Don't leave. Help me. What do you mean you're going to walk?
What can I do?
Yeah. That's probably one of the worst shows on TV. Like
Patty likes it too because she said she likes that show, but now when it's on 2 minutes in, she's asleep. So I don't know. Do you really?
I get up early and I don't sleep.
I don't sleep. None of us have been sleeping. I don't know.
I didn't sleep last night at all.
Yeah.
What was it? The Unexplained. I've been talking about that. That show with William Shatner on History Channel. You guys gotta watch it. I'm telling you, it is such a good show.
You know, I just learned something about William Shatner that I did not know this, but the Michael Myers mask is his.
I don't tell me you didn't know that.
That's creepy, dude.
I did not know it.
What?
He's the face of Michael Myers. He's the
Michael Myers mask is William Shatner's face.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then in the 70s, when they made the original Halloween at the late 70s, they didn't have time to make a mask. So for some reason, these masks were being made. And they just took one and spray painted it white and then put the hair. And it's actually William Shatner's face. And it's all when they were doing Star Trek.
Yep. William. So Shatner's the man, first of all.
Man.
And then you got, like the History Channel, like they totally, the show's amazing. You gotta watch it. It's very, there's science, there's paranormal, there's cryptozoology, mostly the people that are on that show are all like, PhDs and scientists and archaeologists, and they come at it with the spiritual level, the scientific level. It's just,
that's cool.
It's so awesome. You guys gotta watch it. It's a really good show. But Ghost Nation, how we're here, right? They're the ones that started it all.
Yeah.
So it just sucks.
It's fascinating to work with those guys. It is, and it's being part of the team to go out and gather cases. Patty's taking care of one right now. It's up in Toledo. I said, here, you can deal with this lady. She's got kids, and she's been reaching out to Patty. And, with this COVID-19 right now, we can't go out like we can.
Oh, it sucks. That's what's horrible. That's what I think I asked you at the beginning, how are you? Because I know you guys mostly do private houses. It's got to be
tough.
What do you, are you just basically phone?
Right now, it's phone, talking to them, keeping them, and then, once we're lifted to investigate, we're scheduling and we'll be there,
it sucks. I wonder if you could, because it's the paranormal field, there's got to be a way to say, this kind of is essential, right?
Yeah.
You're helping somebody with something. It's now you know, you can, you know, bring it to a court of law, right? I mean, there's been people that have been brought to a court of law about, oh, I'm renting from this person and the house is haunted, and they never told me. It actually goes before a judge.
I think now here in the state of Ohio, you have to tell them if it's haunted.
Really? Jersey, you don't have to disclose it.
You have to tell them if anybody has passed away in the home, or all of that.
See, that would be a good show.
We've already tried that once.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, that would be a good show. Like, home is where the haunt is, and like you're just trying, like, only people that want to live in haunted houses, like, you know what I mean? And if you're in a state where you have to disclose that.
Well, I wanted to.
Don't.
Yeah.
I wanted to win off something.
Oh, that's weird.
You should basically watch it. Yeah, Bill Bean. Bill Freeman said Bill Bean's on tonight. Yeah, he's on the one they're doing a plantation tonight at 9.
Yeah, I can't wait.
See,
2 minutes.
but you said they're on YouTube, so.
Yeah, they're on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It's 9 now.
Yeah, we have to.
It is. Yeah.
Time flies.
What?
Time flies.
It
It
does.
really does. It really does.
Especially when you're talking about something you love.
I know. And that's what I love. And so when things start to go back around, we have to have a ParaVizionz little Taryn reunion, Paranormal Brew investigation in Gettysburg.
Let's do it. We all come out and let's go. I'm down.
Yeah. And you go live on ParaVizionz page. We'll go live on the Brews page, and you know,
I'll go live on the Ghost Nation page because I'm an administrator for that page.
Go live on the Ghost Nation.
That'll be a better one.
Patty can go on ParaVizionz. You go on Ghost Nation. I'll be on Paranormal Brew. It's like this triple trifecta, and we'll be good. And in Gettysburg.
And my best friend from high school lives in Gettysburg. So
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Explosives
Very
Company does a lot of the handles the explosions for the recreation
The
ceremony.
Civil Wars, yeah.
Yeah, reenactment. Thank you.
Yeah, they had to skip the reenactments this year, huh?
They did. Dustin, I think Dustin's on here. He's a good friend of mine, and he is actually heading the next one. He was heading the one he took over. So now it's not GAC anymore. Now it's going to be Dustin, and he's like totally running the whole show. They were going to do it this year, and then what happened was, and ironically, that got canceled too, I believe. But who's that political dude? Now he's like, oh, what the hell's his name? If Dustin's watching, please tell me his name. But somebody was made a point to come there while the reenactments were going on. And this was when, you know, everybody was up in arms about, you know, the Confederacy and the flag and and everything. So here you have this big, like 150,000, this person that can bring out 150,000 people with religious fanatics. And then down the street, you have the reenactments of the war going on. You know what I mean? And he's just like, we don't want to chance anything. People protesting the war and this and that. And, you know, so it's on for next year. So I've gone every year almost since 2007. It's awesome if you've never gone. Most of the people that live in Gettysburg have never gone.
Why aren't you there yet?
Yeah, well, remind me why you don't live there.
Exactly.
I know. I should. I really need to one day. Just even if I always say I'm going to buy like $5,000 worth of square foot land, pitch a tent, and I'll be happy. Oh, I'll be happy. You just leave me out there in the woods, Gettysburg. I'm fine.
That's awesome.
Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. Thank
Can
you.
I direct Patty in it?
Yeah. Thank you, Patty.
I miss you.
Patty.
Nice to meet you guys.
Very great to talk with.
Hosting.
You guys going to go to Phenomenology next year?
Yeah, I would love to go.
You should go. You guys should be there.
Well, we're going to be there for sure in June of next year for the reunion, the Times Family reunion. And then, yeah, I would love to go to Phenomenology. Absolutely.
You got to go to Phenom. It's awesome.
yeah, because it's been a long time, and I'd love to see everybody again. You know, it's like family.
Yeah, Dana's been on here watching the whole time.
Oh, hey, Dana.
Oh, hey, Dana. Yeah, she's on
We
there.
gotta bring Dana back on so that we get updates on that. But even in July is the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. That's like that's like Thursday to Sunday. It's like
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wounded Warriors and disabled children and stuff. All the proceeds go to that, and it's awesome. You know, you guys should look into that too.
Because I think the last year we went was when they took that shrink wrap and wrapped John Zaffis's SUV up before he left that day. He was leaving, and everybody ran out and shrink wrapped. I mean, they really shrink wrapped his car. Yeah, it was great.
We all have jokes on Phenom.
Yeah, I love that. That way, you know what? You learn something all the time. And one thing that really I remember, and I know Bob's on here. He was on there earlier. Was it Bob Christopher that had all the Ouija boards?
No, it's
No, it was Robert Murch.
Yeah.
But we were talking to Bob Christopher because his table was
A couple
behind it. Man, walking around, that's the year that Robert Murch had all of he had tables.
Did you see his lecture though?
Yes.
Yeah.
I couldn't go around his tables because
Best lectures I've ever seen.
his tables were draining me. I mean, I'm like, I have to leave this room. I'm like,
His lecture was amazing.
we got a call. It's been a couple years ago. We got a call there that somebody wanted us to take this Ouija board from it. It was like South Carolina or something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I don't remember where.
I was like, well, we got a place for it. Don't send it here. We're going to get a hold of Robert Murch. We did. And he says, yeah, I'd love to. Thanks. And he kept us in the loop. It's in a case there. It was like a 60s, model of the Ouija board. These people had some crazy stuff. And Robert has it now. I was like, no, don't send it to me. Go straight up north. I don't want it.
He's awesome. Like I remember, so my first night was with you guys. My second night was Bob Murch. What's his face that writes for Ghost Adventures? I don't know.
His name slips me.
Ballinger.
Belanger.
Some people say Belanger, Ballinger.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yep. So it was me, him. It was Bob Murch, Ballinger, and a couple people that worked at Farnsworth House. We're in the basement. 15 minutes, best investigation ever, because it was just nothing but jokes. Like it was just everybody was just. It was like 2:00 in the morning. It was Friday. It was like Jeff Ballinger. So he's like, oh my God, him and Bob Murch together were like amazing. It was awesome. So Bob, like every time I find something comes across my feed Ouija wise, I send it to him, which I've reached out to him to come on the show, but he's never read my message. So I don't know if he doesn't have Messenger, but I would love to have him on because his lecture.
I know he has a big medical issue going on for the last year. So
yeah, like I said, he never read it. So I don't know if he doesn't have it, but his lecture was the best lecture I've ever seen, ever.
Mm-hmm.
There was another one too. What's that name that got? We don't know what happened to him in Colorado.
Stan Romanek.
Stan Romanek.
Oh yeah, I met him.
Gone. He's disappeared. His wife now has disappeared. Nothing.
Really?
Yeah. When we went to Estes Park, Colorado, to the Stanley Hotel, we were supposed to meet up with him before we left because he lives not far from there. And I was like, "Is that a good idea?"
Yeah, he messaged me. He's like, "Yeah, come on out to the house. We'll have lunch and we'll just all chat." And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." Mm-hmm. And these guys were all like, "That's scary," and Men in Black, and
yeah, because he posted something, then all of a sudden his Facebook went off. And then his wife got on there and said something, and then all of a sudden her Facebook was deactivated. And I'm like,
that's weird.
Whoa, somebody said he was a child molester.
Oh, there you
He
go.
went to jail.
Damn.
Who's this man?
Who's this again?
Stan Romanek. He wrote the book.
Oh, I have a book. Now I remember.
Yeah.
Somebody told me to burn it. Yeah, I remember. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that. Wow, thanks, Dana.
Yikes.
But his presentation was, he took control. Now it's creepy now since she said that. Now he had us all in there. He took our minds and he made this, we focused on this graph.
Yeah, it was like
a meter.
Like a group thing type thing.
Yeah, like one side of the room was blue and the other side was red. And we had to fight this graph, and we were all focused on the red, and that side was focused on blue. And we really made that meter move. And I'm like, this guy's creepy. And now she's saying that, I'm like, whoa.
He's really creepy.
Really creepy.
Yeah.
Level creepy.
Yeah, Bill Bean says, you got to listen to Stan's. I'm like, okay, we will. And I was like, wow, blown away. Jaw hit the floor.
Well, still an interesting presentation, regardless of his personal preference.
Absolutely.
So.
I like Ouija boards. I like talking boards.
Yeah, I love those. You know, because Robert, Bob, whatever you want to call him, he sat down with us and says, "You guys, Ouija boards are okay," because I saw on your website that you don't believe in Ouija boards, and I was like, "Well, no." He goes, "Well, let me change your mind." We had him on our show.
Yeah.
No, he does. He does change your mind. He really does.
He goes, "You use digital equipment and you ask the same questions.
That's true.
Ooh.
What's the difference?"
Go on your intention.
That's what he said to me. He said,
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Very much. It's built
"Your
all for
recorder is
intimidation.
digital Ouija board."
Yep, it is.
Yeah. So I said, basically, you're right. So that post went off our website, and we're like, yeah, I haven't used one, but I was in Walmart once, and it was in the evening time, and they were stocking, and this girls, they were stocking toys, and I went through there, and I was like, oh, they were getting ready to put them up, and they were talking about how creepy they were. I was like, go ahead and put them on there. That's just more clients for me.
Well, here's the thing. I do agree that see, I have a newfound respect for Ouija boards. Like I used to be like, no way, oh my God, they're evil, throw them out, whatever. But after seeing his lecture and talking to him, I have a different respect for him. I know he's right. It is a digital, our recorders are digital Ouija boards. However, you can trace back to where digital recorders started, whereas numbers and letters and on the ground, or you can use a Dixie cup, you can, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know where the Ouija where that started, originated.
Absolutely.
When you go back thousands of years, they were more spiritual than we are. They believed in all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? So for me, when people say, yeah, it's a digital recorder, however, you have to know how to open, you have to know how to close it, this and that. That I agree with. Like, I still wouldn't just pick up a Ouija board because I don't know how to open and close it.
Neither do I. I'll be honest, because I've never really messed with them.
Yeah. So I haven't used one, even though I do use a digital recorder. It's different. Like I know this is, first of all, man-made, and I know where it's come from. I know where it's originated from. You know what I mean? You have no idea where that's come from. And the intentions behind it is its sole purpose is trying to communicate, right? Where a recorder, you can use at a meeting, you can use it to record whatever you want to record. Like that's not its sole purpose. That's not where all the energy is going into.
Sure.
You know?
So what about the ghost box then?
What?
What about the ghost box then?
Basically, it's the same. I mean, where it's been made. It's a transistor radio.
Right, but if we're talking about its sole purpose, you're not using it for like medical records, or you're using, like shouldn't that then be opened and closed in a particular?
That's true.
Yeah, anything that has to be open and closed also.
I mean, it's the intentions that you put into it. Then you should say, you should do that with a recorder, right?
So
Anything that you communicate with the dead or trying to communicate with spirit, technically you should.
Oh, you're just saying if it's something that's just totally 100% geared towards that, you should open and close it, right?
You're getting starting to freak me out now, because we're going to investigate this weekend at the church at his own station. So now I'm going to pray for every piece of my device before I put it in its case.
Yeah, but you said do automatically prayers before you go in, and then once you're done, you do the same thing. So basically,
Sure.
it's basically the same thing. It's form of psychic protection. So basically, you are kind of closing. You just want to, stay where you are and do
Yeah,
what
we're
you
just here to
do
talk.
as far as your psychic protection. So as long you even said it, you really do what you're supposed to do. Pray before you go on investigation.
Yep.
You do your prayers afterwards. So basically, you're doing it. And you
Oh,
don't know it.
Your intentions are good also
Yeah.
when you two go out and
Yeah.
investigate. You already know like what Sabrina was saying, your protection,
Yeah.
your ties when you leave, tell them to stay here, you can't come home. You guys already know what to do that. Your intent is good. So you'll be
Yeah. And Jim on our team, we investigated it's called Dayton Victoria Theater in Dayton, Ohio. Every time we investigated there was an energy that went home with him. And he would call me up 2 or 3 days after the investigation and go, man, I'm so tired. I know this energy's here. So we had an investigation. I set one up so he would feel better. And we came, that was like 2 weeks after. And we're parked in downtown Dayton across from the building. And we're watching him. And he opens up his back door and these people are walking by and he's like, get out. And they stop and they're looking. There's nobody in his car that they can see. And they're just watching this guy talk to himself. He goes, you're home, get out. You're not coming back. And he goes, and I'm standing there just cracking up. But it's hilarious. It's just whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Wait, so weren't you the guys? Didn't you tell me? I might have been when I first met you. About I never heard of it before. About the place in Clinton. Is it Clinton?
The Red Mill?
The Red Mill?
Red Mill.
The one that's Bruce Tango's favorite place, him and Dave's favorite place to investigate.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember you guys talking about it, because when I first met you guys at that phenomenology and you guys were talking about the Red Mill and I went up
We go there.
like years later, but I remember you guys talking. That was one thing that stuck out in my head.
Yeah, definitely go to Clinton and check it out. That's a neat little town. That's where Patty grew up.
Yeah. It's
Yes.
Yeah.
Typically, when we go to New Jersey, we're either in Trenton at my one brother's house or in Clinton at the other one. And from there, we just, walk down to the mill and, the whole grounds are a site, and
Clifton.
Clifton? Clifton or Clinton?
Clinton.
Clinton.
Yes.
Yeah,
Red
we
Mill.
were there.
Where the hell is
The Red Mill.
that?
I've been there before. Yeah.
Yeah, the Red Mill.
Yeah, Red Mill.
It's a beautiful little town.
Yeah, it's nice driving.
Red Mill.
It's a small little town. It's probably
The
under
Red-
conflict.
Yeah.
I've investigated before. We did a
Huh?
I said I didn't investigate it, but I did a paracon there.
Oh no, I investigated there. Like I probably investigated there about 3 or 4 times.
Oh, wow.
And it was pretty cool,
Did you go into the other buildings?
yes. So interesting. Like it was when I was with a group I'm not going to mention, and we were in this one space, and it was actually an event we were having, and we were and our job was there was probably about, not gonna lie, 40, 50 people,
Yeah, it was sold out.
yeah, and we were talking about EVPs, and we were trying to teach people, if you have your recorders, or this and that. And as we're sitting there, I try to tell people how different the spirit world sounds when you can actually hear it with your ears. It's a different sound. And it literally, just like as if a spirit were to like go through your body, it sends chills down your spine. So you know that it's nobody in the crowd. You know what I mean? I love Kenny Biddle, but he will never convince me otherwise that what I'm hearing is of the spirit world, right? So we're sitting there and we're, talking about EVPs, and all of a sudden, over top of everybody, you can just hear this. I said, has anybody ever heard or captured a real EVP? And you just hear this, that's funny, through the whole thing. And I'm like, and you can tell the people that heard it and the people that didn't hear it. was probably about 4 or 5 people that were like, did you say? And then everybody who was recording, because we made it like, there was like maybe 10 to 15 people that got it. Some people didn't. We got it. Like, it was just so cool to witness something like that with people that were just there. You know, they paid $20 to do a ghost hunt in October. You know what I mean? Like, just
yeah, that's awesome.
yeah. So the Red Mill to me is like, I love the Red Mill.
Yeah, we were in the schoolhouse.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The schoolhouse.
Yeah.
There was a point in time where, like, I was being the teacher, and Lee naturally was a bad student, and Jim was a good student, and you know, like, we were
just reenacting some of the times.
yeah, and I have to find it, but we have an EVP from there that says, "Oh, teach us some more."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was amazing. Yeah, it was really cool.
Oh.
There's a dance cap in there, and I put it on.
Yeah.
I find like places like that, like, and we don't need to go into it, but I'm just going to say, for me, Gettysburg, most of the evidence I capture is intelligent. It's not residual, you know, where places like that, you would just automatically think it's residual because they've preserved the history so much, you know, and you just would automatically think, you know, what you're going to capture is, you know, but it's mostly intelligent. Me and Beth were in the schoolhouse, and we were with a little group. We heard a whistle outside.
And we were in one place, and you were in the schoolhouse, and we were in the main place.
Yeah.
And
both of us ran outside, and we're like, did you whistle? Did you whistle? Is anybody out? Like, it was just crazy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do love that place. We haven't been there in a while.
Me neither.
Yeah, you guys are closer. Patty's like, man.
Wait a minute. Me and Patty feel totally different about New Jersey. Let's just put it out there. She wants in, I want out.
Yeah. I just know I can't afford to live there anymore.
No.
Man, it's awful.
It's insane.
Taxes are crazy.
It's just amazing, especially like in that little town where she grew up, Clinton. Taxes are just, I'm like, what? That's almost what we make here in the Midwest, like a year. I'm like,
Oh no, they're almost 10,000 in here in Medford.
Yeah, taxes are insane. And they just keep going up. They just keep going up. Everything goes up. It's not just your taxes. It's your car insurance. It's your car payment. Everything.
it's
And then you want to leave. You're like, we're going to tax you on that. How much you leaving for?
Yeah,
Give us some taxes.
Yeah. You got to pay to leave New Jersey.
Huh?
You have to, if you move out of New Jersey, you have to pay. They say there's a fee or something.
Found a way around it. Yes. If you sell your house and you live in an apartment for a year, if you rent for a year, you don't got to pay taxes when you leave.
Ah, cool.
So you just got to sell your house and live in a stupid apartment for a year, where you're going to pay for a 1-bedroom, you're going to pay $2,300 a month, and then move.
That's just crazy.
Just tell me how you're going to save money renting.
Yeah, I think
How are you going to save money renting to move out of the state with it that expensive?
my nephew and his girlfriend, he just came back home, but because they split up, but he was in the Army and working at a hospital. I forget where at. And for his apartment, I think he was paying $3,300 a month.
So insane.
And I'm like, do what? You know what you can get for $3,300 here in the state of Ohio?
That's crazy.
I have acres. I have a beautiful house on acres of land.
You can get like a $700,000 home, which would be like 4,000 square feet. Yeah, I mean, it's different here compared to there. It's just like, what?
See, and that's the thing. Like, I would be okay because I want a rancher. I want a 1-floor. Like, this house right now is just, first of all, too much to clean. It takes me like 5 hours to clean this house. Like, it's just too big. You know, I want something small and little, lots of land, and my fur babies and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I want a small little thing.
Oh, sure.
It can be old. I prefer it to be old. But, you know, yeah, it's crazy. I want out. Patty wants in. Patty, don't do it.
No, I know I can't. I'm content with visiting family. I don't even like to drive there anymore. I feel like a grandma when I drive, you know. But yet here, people drive like
Not like that. Not
people
like
get
that.
under my skin driving here, but I'm not aggressive enough driving in New Jersey anymore.
Oh, when it rains here in Ohio, people drive like they're grannies. I mean, it's like it's just rain, go.
So, but yeah, I'll just
Totally
I'll just
different.
visit, come back and get my diner fix.
Get my sub base, get bagels.
Yeah.
Next
Get
time you gotta
pork
get
roll.
it, you're gonna pass through it, so you might as well just stop and get a Geno's steak.
Yeah, and that's one route I can't stand is the
Turnpike.
turnpike in Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, it's so boring.
Because we
When I
take the
would
whole
drive
way.
out to Ohio, so my drive from Jersey to Ohio was 12 hours. Right? I would drive out there. Good day, 10 hours. But the Pennsylvania Turnpike, holy good God. That is the longest road.
Yeah,
in
you want it to
America.
be over with. And it's like, come on, get this over with, right?
Longest road in America.
True. Yeah.
And expensive.
And very expensive.
And very expensive. If you're going across the state like that, for sure.
I think it was like last time we did, I think it was like $38 and some
Yeah.
change.
It's so insane. But I do want to come out there to do some like investigations. Have you guys ever been to Put in Bay?
I have been years and years ago.
Patty, oh my God, it's so fun. It's like a little mini Mardi Gras.
And then going over to Kelly's Island for a lobster, but she doesn't eat seafood.
I don't either.
See?
And you guys live on the coast.
I don't either. I hate seafood, but I'll go there for like the drinks. It's like mini Mardi Gras. You get beads. You like, you know what I mean? At nighttime, it's like so fun.
Yeah, and all the boats gather and it's a party. You just walk boat.
Yeah, it's like an island of bars and partying and
if you like taffy, they got the best taffy ever.
they got cool. The place is just awesome.
It
Like
is.
everybody's like, "Oh, what'd you like about Ohio?" I'm like, Put in Bay.
But Cincinnati is a cool city also.
Yeah, Cincinnati is cool. I mean,
Okay,
it's
so yes, the bigger cities like Cincinnati is cool. Toledo was awesome. I love Toledo. Columbus was cool. Columbus was more collegey, but it was still cool. You know, where I lived, nope,
nothing.
nope, I can't do it.
All right, you guys. My daughter made dinner. I gotta get going.
Yes, yeah, we've
Eating
been
dinner at
on
9:30.
They eat late. I know they're young and they eat late, and I moved in with her. It's a long story, but
Yeah, I gotta go too. I gotta get Taylor.
Well, thanks for having us.
it was
Oh my
great
God.
talking to you.
and Phenom. Try to get together these friends back. You guys
Yeah,
gotta get out
definitely.
there.
Me and Patty would love to come out.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right, you guys. Good night.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night, guys.
Bye. See ya.
All right. Adios.
It needs to go out.
Bye.
Good night.